The studio with us, we have TRT World's Turkey analyst Yusuf Erim. Let's pick up on, firstly, that speech. Yusuf, would you agree there was a very conciliatory note coming from President Erdoğan, despite him talking about the FETÖ organization, which has been, if I can use the word, a big bugbear for Turkey when it comes to how the Germans view the organization?
First of all, it was a very symbolic end to a very important state visit that at times was tense, but all in all, looking forward will probably be very, very productive. Now, Germany is a very important ally to Turkey. It's home to almost 4 million Turks. Foreign policy-wise, Germany is very important, but also domestically, Germany is important as it's home to a large voter base for Turkey. So good ties with Germany are very important. Now, coming to the FETÖ and Gülenist angle of the speech. Yes, Germany has now become the European base after the 2016 coup attempt with the crackdown in Turkey that broke the back of FETÖ in Turkey. They have shifted their headquarters now to Germany. So there is a huge presence of Gülenists there. They are very, very active. And this is something that concerns the Turkish government because this is something that can deteriorate ties between Germany and Turkey. Now, when we look at Germany, not just as Germany, as the EU, the most active member and the important member of the EU, deteriorating ties between Germany and Turkey on many different levels can hurt Turkey. So they want to keep that relationship as strong as possible. As you said, the speech was, he thanked many people, even though it was a tense trip. We weren't expecting it to be all hugs, because there have been many problems in that relationship. You had the upgrade to the Leopard tanks blocked. You had AK Party campaigns blocked in Germany. You had the bone of contention over FETÖ. You had Germany talking about human rights in Turkey and the rule of law, that they've been deteriorating. So it was going to be a tense trip, but all in all, I think it's going to be productive going forward.
Well, let's talk about that, because one of the things that has been decided during this three-day visit is a summit to be held in Istanbul to discuss Syria between France, Germany and Turkey. How significant is this discussion between these three particular countries? Because Turkey has been involved in a lot of discussions about the future of Syria, about the future of Idlib, but that's been with Russia and with Iran. But now here, this meeting is going to be with two other key European players.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very important summit. Actually, Russia is going to be involved in the summit as well, along with France and Germany. I think it's going to be a very important summit. It's going to hopefully build upon the Sochi deal, which brought peace to Idlib. Now, one of the most important parts of this summit is Erdoğan will be playing a go-between between Putin and Merkel and Macron, and also the EU. One of the most important things that Putin wants to do going forward is he wants to rebuild Syria. And to rebuild Syria, he needs financing. The EU can provide financing, but Putin's relationship with the EU has deteriorated, and he's hoping that President Erdoğan can help him secure financing, and the EU is hoping that President Erdoğan can continue to act as a conduit between the EU and Russia, where he can continue to force Putin to play that role, bringing peace to Idlib and maybe other regions. So it's a very important meeting. There's a lot at stake. You have the migrant flows, you have potential rebuilding of Syria, and hopefully the beginning of a meaningful political solution process.
One of the other big issues is Turkey's accession into the EU. This is something it wants very much, and is hoping, now that relations are softening a little bit of Europe, this could be back on the agenda. Do you think this three-day meeting between Germany and Turkey might have opened up that possibility?
I don't know if it opened up the possibility, but it's definitely better than it was before the state visit. Now, the rejuvenation of the EU accession process is something that's very important to President Erdoğan. It should be something that's very important for the EU as well. Turkey is a very important strategic partner at the moment. It is the EU's southern flank. When I mean southern flank, it's the southern flank against refugees. It's the southern flank against terrorism. Turkey has been able to arrest many Daesh members, many Al-Qaeda members trying to go from Turkey into Europe, potentially blocking and stopping many terrorist attacks that could have happened on European soil. They're also home to 3.5 million refugees who would have made their way into Europe. And as we can see, Europe is having big problems dealing with migrants. So hopefully going forward, the EU process can rejuvenate, because this is something that's important to both sides. The EU has lost a lot of blood with this Brexit deal coming to the foreground with the UK leaving. Maybe Turkey and a rejuvenated accession process can help strengthen the EU once again globally in a strategic manner in the Middle East.
Many thanks. Turkey analyst Yusuf Erim speaking to us about President Erdogan's trip to Germany.